Mechanic Sasagi and his apprentice mechanic, brain injury, have set themselves a goal and booked in the tune for the R33 Skyline. The tune is booked for August the 12th, leaving them only a couple months to get the job done. The cost of not making it in time? Waiting an extra 4 months in line for the tune rebooking. Do these two men have what it takes? Or will they crumble under the pressure? Well, we're about to find out. To begin, it was a pretty cruisy start. We scrubbed the rust off the manifold and prepped it for some black paint. Although, this most likely will come off later from the heat build-up.
Looks like your hair. Oh, you're taking a video. What'd you say, cunt?
Then pulled out the old Jetfire 33, letting the manifold sit and the paint cook on. We then moved on to the interior. We pulled up the old carpet along with the underlay. Then used the old carpet as a stencil and cut the new carpet to match. We then moved on to the underlay, the extremely fun part, drawing and cutting a bunch of matching shapes from the old underlay. And since we didn't have thick enough underlay, we had to cut a fuck ton of duplicates. Once we eventually cut them all out, we stuck them all together. This made them thick enough. So once we'd done that, we fit them in the car and stuck them down. Things were going along nice and smoothly until we realised, what the fuck are we doing? We got a tune in under 2 months and we're here putting in some new carpet. We've got our own lives to live, our own jobs to work, which for Chris is his engineering business. And me, well, at the time I was fucking carrying Void and editing Rust videos, right? What the fuck? So we had to juggle it. So we said fuck the carpet. Let's get stuck into the essentials. So, first up, we had to install a wideband controller, plus a sensor for the exhaust. Chris drilled a big old fucking hole into the downpipe and welded it to plumb the sensor into it. Now to wrap the downpipe and screamer pipe with heat wrap. But heat wrap ain't something to fuck around with. It's full of millions of fiberglass particles. If they get on your hands and you have a nice warm hand wash, your pores are gonna open up and welcome those little fuckers called fiberglass inside of your body. And you know what's gonna happen next, cunt. Then we bolted on the manifold along with the turbo. Chris made up a custom mount to hold the throttle cable. I whacked on the factory rear tail light. Time check. It's the 12th of fucking August. That was quick. Fucking oath it was. It was quick for us too. The last day. Alright, so it was early morning. The tune was booked for 1 PM. And we still got a bit to finish. To say the least, we were under the absolute pump. Alright, cracking into it. We finalised the intercooler piping. And screwed that sucker up. Dropped in the bigger aluminium radiator. Then chucked on the cooler panel and mounted up the pod filter. Then it was the oil catch can. Cut the hosing to size and hooked it all up. Time check. The tow driver is due to be here in only 5 minutes. At this point, the car hasn't even had its first start with the new engine. as well as no bass tune loaded onto the ECU, nor the wideband controller fully wired, nor the fresh fluids such as the oil and radiator coolant, etc. This is going to be a tough one, to say the freaking least, mate. So, we quickly whacked in the essential final 2 front seats. That was it. The towie arrived. We did what we could. But we haven't thrown the fucking towel in just yet. We're still putting that dog motherfucker on the back of the tow truck and sending it to Checker Tuning.
That was fucking stressful, wasn't it, Chris? Just
Mildly.
Yeah.
Mildly.
So 33 is getting towed now, on its way to Checker Tuning. We haven't even fucking started it yet. It hasn't had its first start. We're kind of, banking on it to go. We're going to put the fluids in it and everything yet. It's dirty as shit. I've got 2 seats in, just the essential stuff in, and hopefully we can get this tune, so then we can clean it up and all that jazz.
So, we arrived. It was 12 PM and the tune was booked in for 1 PM. Don't know about you, but I see an opportunity right there for an hour's worth of time. So, we talked to Trent and Kat from Checker Tuning, and they were bloody awesome. They allowed us to use their space to finalise the 33. However, they're not a mechanic, so they don't have tools. So, we flew over to Super Cheap Auto and bought a cheap toolkit and returned to Checker Tuning. Here we go. Now's our final chance to pull off the job. First, we poured in the coolant and the engine oil. Then, I turned on the ignition for a test. But, Chris heard something.
No.
Oh, turn off?
Yeah, turn it off.
What was that?
Oh, there's a whole fuel line.
Oh, fuck. The fuel line was busted and leaking fuel. We thought that was it.
That's the deciding factor for us.
That's it.
But Trent came in clutch and he legit had the perfect hose for it, which was also E85 proof.
All good?
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
The only one he had left. So, Chris took off the old hose, thing was fucked, then whacked on the new one, along with pain.
Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna rage. My arms are like burning.
But, mind over matter. Not only that, one of the fuel injectors was leaking. The O-ring was busted. Luckily, once again, Trent fucking came in clutch and had a spare. Good. We moved on to wiring up that wideband controller for the ECU. Hooked that up quick smart.
Professional, mate.
Yeah, mate. Fucking whacking it.
Then we needed that bass tune for the first engine start, which Trent loaded in 5 minutes.
But all I can say is I think we're good.
I think we're good. Alright.
Well, that was it. She's finally ready for the first engine start. This is what we're all counting on. Hasn't been started for 2 years. Here we go.
We're getting Stop.
I'm gonna call you back.
Oil pissing out.
What? Where?
Oil pissing.
Oh, what the fuck?
Ooh, just look down here.
That's not even fresh oil. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
oh no.
Holy shit.
No, that's not.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like it's coming out of the top of the oil cooler or something. That one?
That's not a today one.
No, unfortunately, that is having a look at on a hoist or something like that. Okay, sorry guys.
No, it's not. You're doing it. You guys.
That's a sucker. But it is running.
Fuck. We were missing a Welsh plug. A 20-cent sized plug missing deep in the side of the engine block. Our luck has well and truly run out. That's gonna need a hoist. God damn. we got pretty bloody close to pulling off the impossible. Well, looks like we're gonna have to wait 4 months for the rebooking of the tune. Or are we? As it turns out, there was a mechanic named Daniel right next door, who, might I also add, was a fucking top bloke. Checker Tuning said, since he is right next door, we'll be able to slip it back in for a tune when they have spare time. Trent also suggested to get a few more electronics for the ECU installed. One, for example, was for the handbrake launch control. And mate, that's all I needed to fucking hear. Launch control. So, the 33 went next door to TSD Automotive, and Daniel touched it all up, ready for the tune. Alright, now, it was fucking time. I was quite nervous, because I've heard a lot of things usually go wrong on the first tune. Well, here we go. It actually fucking pulled through.
What the fuck are these?
Launch control set up on the handbrake. It wasn't working to start with. It was just a little bug in the software. Updated that. It's all good. So launch control works on the handbrake. Flat foot shift works on the clutch. Flex fuel sensors all working. Air temp sensors working. Everything's working.
Awesome.
That's really good to
It's all
hear.
done. It does what it needs to do.
That was big.
Yeah. I thought there was a fire at one stage, but yeah, it doesn't last too long.
It ended up making a solid 280 kilowatts to the rear wheels at 19 psi on the 85 and around 250 rear wheel kilowatts on 98. Trent said he could pump a few more pounds of boost into it, which would give us our 300 rear wheel kilowatt goal. But first, we needed to wire up a relay mod for the bigger fuel pump. This will help with, you know, the car not catching fire. Oh yeah, it felt real good. A lot of years in the making to get to this moment. It was a rocky ride at times, but we made it in the end, and that's all that matters. Next, we're going to get this big dog ready for the road, because it's probably not a good idea driving a deregistered Skyline around with no bumper, seatbelts, or indicators while it's screaming off its tits.
Just the drugs.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I recommend hitting that bell button to turn the notifications on, because YouTube's a bit hit or miss with showing videos to subscribers. Also follow me over on Instagram, and also a big thanks to Chris for helping me out fucking heaps. Make sure you also follow him on Instagram as well. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.
I don't think we're in love. That's just the drugs. Don't they make you feel numb? You can't feel it all. Maybe if we loved ourselves, it wouldn't be so hard. It wouldn't be so hard to love each other.
Not a mechanic. Wait, shut up, cunt.